My point is something else. What is the point of you continuing with this rhetoric of Hamas being the movement that can deliver all of the land of Palestine from the sea to the Jordan River? You know it's nonsense. You know it can't happen. Why not abandon it? Why not recognize the right of Israel to exist and join the peace process? Because that is the only way that Palestinians are ever going to get a state or any sense of security.
I think the only nonsense is the occupation. The only nonsense is those advices for the Palestinians to give up. The only nonsense is the peace process which give the Palestinians nothing. The Palestinians are seeking their rights. They will achieve those rights, either in a peaceful way, if there was a right work for that, or by resisting the occupation. It's clear no one will gain security and peace with the presence of the occupation.
In this interview, you have referred to one senior Fatah official as basically a traitor. You've said Mahmoud Abbas may well be working in the interests of Israel. The point is, he is still Palestinian president. In Hamas, you argue that his legitimacy runs out on Friday, the 9th of January. Are you saying that beyond that date, Mahmoud Abbas has no right, no legitimacy whatsoever to claim to be Palestinian president?
Initially, I didn't say that he's working for the Israelis. It's your own words. Second, I'm talking about the clear position, not from Hamas, it's from the Constitution. His period will end at the 9th of January. We have to respect the Constitution. If we did not, anyone else can break that down any time when he feels that he's strong enough to do that.
You see, the Saudis, if I may, we're nearly out of time. I want one clear answer on this. The Saudis, the Egyptians, many others who believe in a peace process, they say it can only begin to happen when Hamas and Fatah find a way to unify the Palestinian people. Are you prepared to work with Mahmoud Abbas now?
Well, we have called for a meeting for all the Palestinian factions, leaders, including Abu Mazen, to find a way to have a Palestinian national conciliation. This is the first point. The second point, you mentioned the Saudis. I want you to refer back to the speech of the Prince Saud al-Faisal in the International Security Council when he said, without an important step to stop the Israeli attack against Gaza, the Arabs will find other ways to defend the Palestinians. You have to listen to that well to understand that no one will accept the continuity of the occupation for the Palestinian lands.
Osama Hamdan, we're out of time. Thanks very much for joining us from Beirut.
Grove an end to Europe's gas crisis. Reports say Russia has agreed to let international monitors oversee its gas exports. Welcome news for the nation struggling without a key heating fuel. The humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip deepens. The United Nations suspends part of its aid deliveries in Gaza after its staff are fired on by Israeli forces, killing one. A shock for the banking industry. Germany's second biggest player, Commerzbank, is part nationalised. And miserable news for Walmart and other big retailers hit shares in New York and the Dow closes lower. Welcome to the business edition of World News Today. I'm Tanya Beckett. Also coming up in the programme, the President-elect lays out his plan to revitalise the US economy, who warns that there is no time to waste.
I don't believe it's too late to change course, but it will be if we don't take dramatic action as soon as possible. If nothing is done, this recession could linger for years.
Fresh revelations in the Bernard Madoff scandal. Prosecutors say they found $173 million worth of signed checks in his desk at the time of his arrest.
Meanwhile, What's happening in the Middle East? The United Nations has suspended all aid deliveries into Gaza after a UN convoy was hit by a tank shell, killing 2 people. The UN said there have been a number of attacks on other installations. Aid shipments are stopped until the safety of UN staff is guaranteed. Meanwhile, the second 3-hour humanitarian pause in Israeli military action in Gaza has ended, but there is no sign international diplomacy is about to secure a permanent ceasefire. One possible new front against Israel opened up when at least 3 rockets were fired into northern Israel from Lebanon. Hezbollah denied any responsibility. Israel replied with artillery, but called the attack an isolated event. Israel is still denying access to Gaza for international correspondence. The BBC's Katya Adler reports from the Israeli-Gaza border.
Pensioners in this nursing home were eating breakfast